Well, Earth Day is almost here, so it's time to give back to Mother Nature and celebrate a little history of our planet.
And today, Drew is teaching us about the water we drink. He's in Hillsboro with Clean Water Services. Hey, Drew.
Hey there, Brenda and Ashley. You are correct. Saturday is Earth Day, but we cannot wait to celebrate Mother Earth, so we celebrate a little early. We do so today at one of the water treatment facilities operated by Clean Water Services. And if your first question of the morning is, what the heck is Clean Water Services? What do they do? Fear not, I have that knowledge in my head this morning. They, on a daily basis, clean more than 60 million gallons of wastewater, serving nearly 600,000 residents here in Washington County. So that's pretty impressive stuff right there. Behind me, big equipment here at Clean Water Services. This particular piece of equipment is used to turn some of that wastewater into a very useful product. We're going to cover a lot of ground. We're going to talk about that product here later, but I want to bring Mark Jockers into the picture with Clean Water Services. Mark, because big picture, Clean Water Services has been around for roughly 4 decades. What you're doing today is somewhat similar to what they started doing 4 decades ago. In other ways, it's different. I'll let you explain.
Absolutely. You know, our industry, the wastewater treatment industry, used to be about how to get rid of things, about public health, protecting the environment. We still do that. But today it's really about resource recovery. What can we get out of this waste stream that's coming to us that we can recycle? And we do that with energy. We do it with water, and what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about fertilizer, about nutrients that we're able to harvest and recycle, and what a better time to do it than to talk about it around Earth Day.
It's a very special Out and About segment. An Earth Day related Out and About segment. We'll have more with Mark and the fertilizer they're creating with your wastewater, guys, coming up later this hour.
Okay, we'll see you then, Drew. Thank you.
And Drew is on a bit of an unusual segment this morning. He's teaching us about the water we drink and where it comes from. Hey, Drew.
To be more specific, Ashley, Brenda, we're talking wastewater this morning. I know. It's not necessarily a subject you want to tackle at 5:20 in the morning, but we're doing it today in honor of Earth Day this Saturday. Clean Water Services here in Washington County taking that wastewater and they're turning it into useful products like an earth-friendly fertilizer. We'll explain the process. An Earth Day special, if you will, coming up. We are behind the scenes this morning at Clean Water Services water treatment facility in Hillsboro. In honor of Earth Day, we're showing you how they're taking wastewater, turning it into useful products. For example, earth-friendly fertilizer. How about that for the quick visual? We have more of this story coming up.
And Drew Carney is getting scientific this morning, just a few days before Earth Day. Hey, Drew.
Yes. Hey there, Brenda, Ashley, do me a favor. Go to that KGW prop closet, pull out a couple of lab coats and some safety goggles because we're going to science class next. We are talking about taking wastewater. Yes, sorry for the close-up. Your wastewater and turn it into clean water. And they're doing it here at this water treatment facility operated by Clean Water Services in Washington County. An Earth Day friendly segment coming your way right after this.
Hey, welcome back this morning. It is 5:44. You know, Earth Day is coming up this Saturday.
Drew Carney is giving us a little peek behind the curtain of what they do at the wastewater treatment plants to clean that kind of icky water and reuse it. Hey, Drew.
Yes. Yes, let's feel good about this icky water subject this morning, Ashley and Brenda, because Earth Day is Saturday. We can't wait for the party. We're celebrating Mother Earth this morning. This is one of the 4 water treatment facilities operated by Clean Water Services out here in Washington County. And the subject came up after we did that first segment, right after the start of the 5 o'clock hour. The subject came up in our own newsroom. Brett Laney with Clean Water Services. The question was asked, are they taking wastewater, dirty water, and turning it into drinking water? That's not what you're doing here.
No, not at all, Drew.
Let's talk about what you are doing here, though. And actually, there's a great shot. Steve was out here the other day behind the camera. Steve has this great shot of your facility. Kind of shows how massive it is. So let's talk about what you are doing here.
So our job at Clean Water Services is to take all that water that people have used in their homes and to separate all the solids that they've put in that water as they used it And we're going to separate those solids out, treat those separately. We end up with a very clean water that's actually pretty close to drinking water quality, but it's not quite there. We want that water going into the Tualatin because it's going to make the Tualatin healthy and make it sustainably healthy.
Tualatin River, and really since you started, Clean Water Services, since you started 4 decades or so ago, we do have a healthier Tualatin River.
Absolutely. I remember as a child driving over the Tualatin and seeing the algae blooms, the dark, the green, the algae mats, and all that, and thinking, I wouldn't want to be swimming in that. But you know what? Now the Tualatin sustains a healthy coho run. I've actually been up there in the fall and watched them spawn out in their spawning grounds above Lee Falls. It's pretty awesome to see that happen in my lifetime. So we're all very proud of what we do here. Yeah.
Behind us this morning, Brett, obviously there's a whole lot going on. In this facility, they're creating a product. Yes, it is not drinking water, but it is something that you may find very useful at your home, and that's where I bring in Mr. Mark. Mark, you are creating now a fertilizer.
Yeah.
Through the wastewater that you're collecting from your Washington County customers, so to speak. Tell me about this fertilizer and why maybe it's better than the fertilizer I'm using currently.
Certainly. So this is Clean Water Grow. It's a locally produced fertilizer. We have made in Oregon right there. Local, sustainable, natural fertilizer. The thing that's most important about it is it's a slow release fertilizer. So the phosphorus, the nutrients that plants need to grow, are released slowly over time as the plant needs it. And therefore we don't have runoff. We don't get runoff, we don't have pollution that goes into the river, and it really goes where that fertilizer needs to go.
Because sometimes if I'm fertilizing too early, say, a lot of the fertilizer I'm using doesn't actually even get to the roots of the plant.
Right, a lot of fertilizer that we use is water soluble, so that means when it rains, it runs off. This is not water soluble. The plants actually activate it, and then the phosphorus is taken up by the plant as it's needed.
Earth-friendly fertilizer, you say? Made in Oregon? I'll pitch that product. We're out of time for now. We'll talk more about the work of Clean Water Services on this Earth Day Thursday, if you will. Ashley and Brenda, back to you for now.
Excellent. So the plants have their fertilizer, they've got their rain, they're happy campers.
Tomorrow, the sun.
And tomorrow they get the sun.
6:13. Let's keep going with this recycling theme here. Earth Day is just 2 days away. Okay. This morning, Drew Carney out at a water treatment facility. Hundreds of thousands of people living in Washington County have their wastewater treated at this place every day. Drew's going to show us how it works when we come back.
Clean and reuse. A water treatment facility in Hillsborough does exactly that every single day. They treat 60 million gallons of wastewater.
They are very busy people out there. Drew Carney is with them to walk us through how the process works. Hey, Drew.
This is an Earth Day friendly segment. Ashley and Brenda, Earth Day, of course, on Saturday. We can't wait. We visit Clean Water Services this morning, and we should clean up something right now. The misperception, I should say, is that they're taking this dirty water and cleaning it up and returning it to homes for people to drink. That's not actually the case. They're taking residents' water, their dirty water, their wastewater that you maybe flush down the toilet, so to speak. They're cleaning it up and returning it to the Tualatin River. And believe me when I tell you, the Tualatin River is thankful for this. It's a much cleaner river today than it was 40 years ago when Clean Water Services started. Now, during the process of cleaning up all of this wastewater, they have made some fun products over the years. You may remember a few years ago, Keely Chalmers did a story when Clean Water Services turned wastewater into drinkable beer. Again, a fun product. It was never commercially available, but they are creating a product now that is commercially available. That's this fertilizer we talked about in the 5 o'clock hour called Grow, a very environmentally friendly, earth-friendly fertilizer that people can get now, they can use to help treat their lawns. And where we stand this morning in this water treatment facility, this is the very area where this Grow product, this fertilizer, this earth-friendly fertilizer product is actually made. So this is one of 4 water treatment facilities operated by Clean Water Services. They're taking Washington County residents' wastewater, turning it into something useful, and also returning it to a much cleaner Tualatin River. We'll have more on this process, Brenda and Ashley, coming up later this hour.
All right, thank you, Professor Carney. I like that. This is awesome.
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
very
Yeah, it's been interesting.
We are behind the scenes this morning at one of Clean Water Services water treatment facilities. We're explaining how they're taking your dirty water, and turning it into something very useful for your plants. That story coming up. Dirty water.
Drew Carney all about Earth Day, which is Saturday. He's talking about cleaning up dirty water.
Absolutely. Can't wait for Saturday. Must celebrate Earth Day today. Clean Water Services out here in Hillsborough helping us with that this morning. We're talking about how they're taking your wastewater, Washington County, and turning it into a very useful product. The story continues right after this.
As we've been learning this morning, it is quite the process to clean up wastewater. Drew's giving us a behind-the-scenes look with Earth Day coming up on Saturday.
And Drew, it is quite the task to get that clean water back into the river.
Yes, a behind the scenes and a behind the dirty water look. At Clean Water Services, this is one of their 4 water treatment facilities out here in Washington County. I'm going to bring Brett Laney back into the picture. Brett, a very scientific fellow. But Brett, last hour, and we're doing this because Earth Day, of course, is Saturday, and you were doing some very earth-friendly work here at Clean Water Services. Last hour, you explained one of the main responsibilities you have, what you're most proud of, is that you're taking people's wastewater in Washington County. That water that, say, is being flushed to you every day. You're cleaning it, you're returning it to the Tualatin River, and the river is healthier now today because of your efforts the last 4 decades. One of the other things you said you're proud of, and really it's pretty impressive just to see this facility. We have an overhead shot that we can show our viewers right now of kind of all the workings that's happening here. But you said you're also proud of the fact that you're attaining phosphorus. I never think about phosphorus. I'll be honest with you, Brett. Why should I be?
Well, Drew, you should be thinking about phosphorus because phosphorus, a lot of people don't realize, is actually a very limited resource. It's just as limited as oil. In fact, we think we have about less than a century left of easily accessible phosphorus that we can mine out of the ground and use to grow food. Every bit of us, every living thing needs phosphorus to survive. It needs to be in their food supply. So we absolutely need phosphorus. Like oil, you have alternatives, right? We can do different things and not have to use oil, fossil fuels. We don't have a replacement for phosphorus. So in some ways, it's even more critical to us to recover, reuse, recycle phosphorus as much as we can, keep it local, keep that carbon footprint small. There's no reason why you can't use phosphorus more than once instead of sending it out to the ocean.
What are they doing with some of this phosphorus that they're recovering, you may ask? That's where I step away from Mr. Brett. I bring in Mr. Mark. Because we talked about Mark. Where did that beer go? Come back here, beer. A couple of years ago, Mark, our environmental reporter Keely Chalmers did a story with you guys because you were creating a beer out of wastewater. And you did that, why exactly?
Well, we really wanted to tell the story of water, that all water is used water, and it's been used before, it'll be used again, and we can make any type of water you need here at this treatment plant.
That was for fun. This new product is for real commercial use. You're creating a fertilizer with the very phosphorus that Brett was telling us about a moment ago. Why should I feel good about using this particular fertilizer?
This is a local product made locally. It's pure. It's a very pure form of phosphorus, and it's natural. Most importantly, though, it is a slow release fertilizer. So what that means is rather than running off into our streams and rivers, it's used by the plant. So we call it a stream-friendly fertilizer.
And available where?
So it's available at Fred Meyer Garden Stores, local nurseries, Ace Hardware, throughout Oregon, Washington, Idaho.
And hopefully this is a one-word answer because we're completely out of time. Another product that you're making here at Clean Water Services would be?
Would be energy. We generate a lot of power here that we can use, just get right out of the water.
Energy is a one-word answer. We appreciate that. We're out of time. Earth Day, though, is still coming our way this Saturday. We hope you all celebrate. Brenda, Ashley, Rod Hill, back to you.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Drew, very much.